Hello, guys. Thanks for joining us. Again, unfortunately, another serious topic in Russia. Like you saw from the title, in case you don't know, Russia has flooded. And what that specifically means, we'll get into. And it's certainly a tragedy for some people that live in that area, many people that live in that area, actually. And I want to tell you, first off, just a little story about me. When I was a grade school student, I remember very clearly my parents' private school started doing well, and we were able to buy a house and move across town. And we were going to have this house in the woods. It was going to be big and beautiful and designed just how we liked it. And I remember as a child thinking, wow, we're rich now. Of course, it's just comparatively, we weren't necessarily that rich, but things were changing in our life. And we moved into that house, and it was wonderful. And only a few years later, that house was struck by lightning and burned to the ground and killed 3 of our dogs. And so I share this with you just to remind you, all who are watching, we all have had our own tragedy. In fact, they say the average person experiences 16 tragedies in their lifetime. And so I say this just so we all can remember that this isn't something that we're necessarily removed from. We are people on planet Earth, and we suffer as these people are suffering. And this is not just a news story, but this is real life that happens to all of us. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on Martyn, who you have seen before on this show, I believe, if you saw his live last time. But Martyn, why don't you tell us real briefly who you are and who you are in relation to this story?
Yeah, thanks for having me back on, Joseph. So yeah, I'm Martyn. I'm from England. I do actually have my own YouTube channel called Russian Travels as well. I moved from England, the UK, with my Russian wife about 18 months ago. We moved from, just outside Bristol. I don't know if a few of you are familiar with a place called Wales. So we moved there 18 months ago with our 2 children. We now have 3 children. We had a daughter last year. She's now 9 months old. So there's 3 of us in Russia, 1 Russian-born child. And we started building a house in April last year. It was completed, I think, at the end of October, early November. We eventually moved in. So we moved into our brand new, lovely family home. And yes, here we are in April with the waters pretty much 5 inches from the roof at the moment. It's like it's sitting in a lake with the other about 600 houses on our development, on our village. They're all pretty much the same, and the waters are still rising as we speak. So yes, that's me.
Okay. And what you guys see in the background, I believe, is his street. I'm going to show a quicker video of this now, and then we'll bring his wife on. So that is your street, correct, Martyn?
Yeah, so that was my wife. We got evacuated, and we both, before the water levels started rising even more, we managed to get an inflatable boat by one of the kind of community guys who were running like taxi services on these inflatable boats to get back to your house, because we still had some quite important belongings in there. Because we weren't expecting the water to rise. We thought, yeah, we'll put sandbags at the front and it'll be all over. But no, the water started continuing to rise. So that was my wife walking towards the house, because the boat could only get so far at that stage. So we had to walk up to our waist in some points back to our house to get in. We tried to do as much as we could in terms of raising the furniture off the floor, putting things up as high as we could, and getting some of the kind of more valuables that we had, because we just didn't really have enough time to kind of evacuate properly, put everything in a van and get it all out, because we just weren't expecting the waters to go this high. So yeah, so that was my wife. I don't know if you want to bring her on now.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, bring her on in.
This is
and definitely go over to his channel, guys. Go over to their channel and like and subscribe and watch some of these videos. They're documenting it all very well. I'm just showing you little glimpses of it here on this channel, but it's pretty amazing to see. And it's my understanding you guys left as a precaution. I assume they told your neighborhood, why don't you leave for a day or so, just in case. And I noticed on your channel you had, put like blocks of stuff underneath the furniture, like thinking, just in case we get a couple centimeters of water in the house, let's just put everything off the floor. And then apparently it turned out to be much, much more than that. And you guys caught a raft back to your house to grab some more valuables, right?
That's right, yeah. That's pretty much the story in a nutshell, isn't it? Yeah. Along with all of our neighbors doing the same thing as well, So yeah, kind of before that, we were all making sandbags. We had sand delivered and then bags. And we were making them, just like you said, thinking, oh, we'll stop the water coming in. It's never ever going to get that high. But like I said, as we speak now, it's almost at the roof. So they're pretty much almost submerged, all these houses. Even the video playing in the background there, that was an earlier video about 2 or 3 days ago. So yeah, it's pretty much up to where you can see the roof there at the moment.
Yeah.
The house was.
This video, it's like a third of the way up, but now it's kissing the roof line, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You want to say something, Yuliya?
Sorry?
Go ahead. You want to?
No, I just wanted to kind of mention, when we went to back in the house, the house was still dry inside, so the water just started getting into the path, the concrete paths around the house. But unfortunately, we got the video today, and thanks to the guys who still going there and making videos for around the neighborhood for the insurance companies. So we saw on video today that basically it's like about 20 centimeters to the roof now.
So yeah, we have someone patrolling on a daily basis, kind of taking videos and pictures of each person's properties, and then they're putting it into a Telegram group of just documenting where the water is, so we've got kind of proof of what's happened.
Yeah.
So, and you mentioned, I think on one of your videos, Martyn, that it's 11 meters deep in some places. Is that right?
Yeah, it's even more now. I think we're getting updates from Vesti. Is it Vesti? News?
The new news channels, local news channels.
It's 11.
Yeah, it's 11 and a half at the moment. I think 11.
60 almost.
Yeah. Yes.
And if you're from America, that is just times that by 3, and that's how many feet it is.
Yes.
And from England as well. Feet and inches.
Oh, really? You guys are still in feet and inches?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. All right. Well, with that said, how many people is this affecting? How big's the area? Like, what stats can you guys give us to help our brains understand what exactly is going on here? It's like, as far as how bad it is.
So basically, in our particular development, which you've seen on video, we have I think about 600 houses, all brand new, and probably including plots. And plots, not everybody managed to build yet. Also, I think it's 6,000 households affected in Orsk, and as far as I remember, is more than 3,000 in Orenberg region, but the city of Orenberg, but the numbers are still rising. So we had the sirens going on this evening,
about
literally
2 hours ago.
and it was another area. Now the blocks of houses being evacuated, like 17-story buildings are being evacuated.
Wow.
So people are getting affected as we speak.
Now they're evacuating high rises because they don't want people trapped in there, or is that the main reason? Because I guess.
And I think it's contamination as well, because don't forget that when we waded through the waters, that it's just full of all sorts
Sorry, no, those particular high rises, 17th story buildings in Uralskaya Street, the water is literally coming to houses now. It's in the ground floors.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's just a precaution, isn't it? It's like
It's not just precaution. I think, I mean, what do you do even if your ground floor is flooded, and you're on the level 17, for example?
Right, exactly. Yeah, you want to get out, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Has anyone? Is there any news reports? Has anyone unfortunately died from this event, or not yet?
Sorry, there is a. We're kind of not aware of it. We don't know anybody like, unfortunately, losing their lives personally. But at the moment, it's like a lot of false, fake news being spread around social media. So you don't really know what to believe, and we know that this could be used against to just basically destabilize the situation in the country.
Yeah, so I don't think there's that many people die, which is a good thing. So yeah, to be honest, we just don't know. There's so much information coming from everywhere. It's really hard to kind of decipher what is actually going on 100%. So
yeah, sorry.
Okay,
can I just say, there's the fake news kind of stories, that like bodies floating down the river and all that, it's not true. It's definitely not true. In our particular development, we can only speak for ourselves, really, like what we know, what we've seen with our own eyes. And in our development, luckily, there is everybody's safe and got evacuated on time, and there is no casualties here. So, and sorry, there were some people, the people die all the time, but it's not necessarily from water, it's like somebody might have had a heart attack or something. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, of course, because of the stress of the situation, you can, people can pass away, unfortunately. We do have one audience question here, since we're kind of on this topic. Is there livestock in the region that needed to be taken care of, or do you guys know?
Again, do you know on that one?
Yeah, sorry, it's gonna be like mine too.
Yeah, obviously Yuliya knows this area more than me, but in the city itself, there's no livestock or any fields round by us.
Horses.
There's horses in one of the, and obviously people have chickens and things like this.
No, they were like a sort of like a area where you could, the Rising Center, just down the road from us, isn't it? The Rising Center. We have even a video from the center we took back in winter. So those horses had to be evacuated. In terms of like Orenberg itself, people don't keep animals here anymore. There's like, as you know, it's a different sort of lifestyle nowadays. But in Orsk, yes, people still rely on livestock for their basically to sort of, it's part of their livelihood, is just to keep a few chickens and pigs and goats and that sort of thing, just within the household.
Right.
So yes, in those areas, they kind of more sort of village type areas.
Yeah, and you guys don't feel like you have to have all the answers. I mean, you're in the middle of a crisis right now, so, and everyone knows that. It's not like, you're in your nice clean house and you just got back from Chocolatnitsa and the air conditioner's on or whatever. We know that, and in case you guys don't know, they're in the middle of it right now. They came on because they, like me, they want to show the world that Russia is a human place with real people living in it. I mean, you guys, just a few days ago when we decided to do this, the water still hadn't come into your house yet. We were hoping that it wouldn't, but we thought it might a little bit. And now all of a sudden, by the time we get to this thing, the water's, up to your ceiling. So, and you guys, I think, are crammed into an older flat with a bunch of people, just to have a roof over your head for the time being. Is that right?
Yeah, so we're actually with Yuliya's parents. So Diadeshka, Barbashka, we're in their Soviet-built flat, which they've had since you were born, isn't it?
Well, for about 40 odd years now, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, there's 7 of us, me, Yuliya, and 3 children, and obviously Diadeshka, Barbashka, Yuliya's parents. Also, Yuliya's parents have a dacha, and next door to their Yuliya's sister had built a house as well. This is just a bit further down the Ural River towards the city centre, where the other side of the river, and their dacha and home there, which his sister was living in, has been completely flooded. The same, it's right up to the roof there as well. So Yuliya's sister has had to come back and move in with your other sister, isn't it? Which is living in the same community blocks here. So yeah, we've all had to evacuate, and we're all kind of living in the same community now. So we're in a 2-bedroom apartment, the 7 of us at the moment.
Wow, crazy. Well, let me put on the other video clip that you gave me, which I believe is you guys in the center looking out at the waters flowing by. Now, again, I encourage you guys to go to their channel, and you can see that again, along with a photo of what it normally looks like. It's hard to tell, because when you see flooding pictures, you don't know the area, you look at it and you think, well, that just looks like a big river, especially when it gets deep enough. And it was my understanding that there was a small river there, and where you see light posts coming out of the water, that is how far the boardwalk went out to, and it's just completely underwater. So
yeah, it's a really beautiful spot there, Joseph. It's been done up really well by the city. There's a lot of recreational. There's actually a big park with children's play equipment, and it's all submerged. There's actually a children's railway that runs down that path as well. There's a running track, cycling track. There's all sorts. There's even a beach there with where they've made a man-made beach with sand and just a massive green, and it just looks like one massive kind of lake now. So it's just submerged all of that. So, and even where you were looking then on that picture, there's garages underneath those high rises, and they're completely submerged as well.
Wow, incredible. And guys who are in the live stream, send us your questions. I'm going to be getting to those slowly as I ask them my questions. And I saw on one of your videos recently that you guys were told to go take your kids from school as a precaution in case the school was flooded. Is that right? Or one of your children?
Yeah, so we were kind of waiting for that, but yeah, they decided to evacuate today. So the latest video I put out, that was showing you how close kind of the waters are to the proximity of where the school was. So yeah, they evacuated them because nobody knows how high the waters are going to get.
And that school looked like an old Orthodox church, right? Something like that.
It's been renovated, hasn't it?
Yes. So this school was given by council as just one of the old buildings in the city and all the town area, and they built the church like next to it. So because it's Orthodox gymnasium, it's a school for Orthodox children where they could, on top of normal subjects, they study religious studies quite deeply. And so yeah, they built this church next to these buildings, sort of like a one complex, so you could walk from school into the church and have your prayers there and come out. So a lot of work was put into doing his building up, and it's all done on donations because there is no government support for this. This is a private school. It's been funded by just donors and parents.
Right, right. And what I saw looked like it was like in the middle of town. And so even that area is in danger of potential flooding. Is that right?
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, that's why they evacuated today. So even that has surprised me, because it's, but like I keep saying, nobody knows when the waters are going to stop rising. It should have been 2 days ago. Now it's Friday, it should have been Wednesday, and it should have been Thursday, and here we are Friday. They're saying it should start to kind of peak today. But we just don't know. We'll probably wake up tomorrow and it'll be higher again. So yeah, that's why they've evacuated.
Now, in America, I have a business that I just sold actually to my friend, and they called me or texted me like yesterday and said, guess what? We are completely flooded. The whole city's flooded. And I know, Martyn, you told me that Australia is having flooding problems too. So it's just a weird coincidence that all this flooding is happening at the same time. And I know that for my business, that building, it would flood, unfortunately, quite regularly. I had bought it because it was the right location. That's where everyone was living and going to work. And so that's where they would drop off their kids, because it's a child care that I owned. I say this because sometimes people hear flooding stories and they can be insensitive and say, well, why would you build there? Why do you live there? There's many reasons why, you might end up in a situation where you're in a place that's flooding. There's many different factors. And, if the center of town is being evacuated for flooding, it just goes to show, sometimes these things are completely unpredictable and you don't know what's going to happen. But I know also that when you're buying property in America, they'll tell you if something's in a flood zone. You'll have to get more insurance if it is, or perhaps you won't be able to get insurance because the flooding probability is so high. And so in America, you would either not buy it or you would buy it with high insurance. Is it similar in Russia? I mean, do they have flood zone warning areas, or what do you guys know about that? Like, was this completely out of the blue for you, or did you know that this was maybe a 1% chance of flooding?
Again, I think you're best to answer that because you grew up here.
Yeah, I grew up in this area, so I knew kind of the risks of buying here, and yes, and we were told also that there was a flood here in 1994, the last one, the last big one, and the reason why we bought around here was because to be closer to parents and because it was a nice picturesque area. And
and well, everybody said, we did ask, do you think it's going to flood, when you're with the salesperson, and wow, like it hasn't flooded in 15, 20 years. No, it's not going to flood. The Ural River is a lot kind of smaller than it's ever been. So it's like, no chances, So.
The problem is since 2010, I think they had like a really dry spells all the time. They had the risk of like the opposite one. They didn't have enough water here in this region because, as you know, we like close to Kazakhstan, and it's quite different vegetation here comparing to Moscow, for example. And yes, so in terms of insurances, you asked, yes, there are insurances in here, and you have to take insurance on if you have mortgage. But there is no insurance culture as such in Russia, as you probably know. It's not as developed as it is in America. The thing is, it's only kind of started. People started taking out insurances about 30 years ago, like when the market economy started here. So it's not really in people's mind, to take on the insurance. So loads of businesses aren't insured because they just don't think about it. They don't plan, unfortunately. And but the banks definitely, they make people take insurances on. If you have if you have your mortgage, yes.
Right.
But unfortunately, only like, again, you know, you take the insurance just within this amount of mortgage, not for the whole value of the house, but for the mortgage portion of the value.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say that Russia's less developed. It's just the market economy is newer, as you said. And in America, a lot of insurance is required. So whereas in Russia, some people take the chance more often, I guess. It's more the culture here because it's a newer economy, like you said. Well, I put a question on the screen that I think is good to ask now. Well, first of all, did you guys get the right amount of insurance for what you're going through, or are you in jeopardy?
So we've got insurance, like Yuliya just said, for we did part mortgage the purchase of the property, so we're only insured on obviously that if we can prove that, you know, that the house is flooded. So that's why we've got somebody patrolling round to document all this. Because obviously, you know, insurance companies are insurance companies. At the end of the day, they don't want to pay out, do they? So yeah, we've got people, thankfully, from the community, which is absolute godsend, you know, going around on these boats. It's been extremely windy today, ridiculously windy today. I'm looking this way because I can see the floods out of the window here.
Wow.
It's literally like looking at the Volga River. It's literally, there was nothing there. It was green fields, and it's just like this big, quite nice looking river from the view here. But knowing that from far away, but our houses are there. But yeah, my point is we've got somebody really kind who's patrolling on a daily basis, taking pictures for the insurance reasons.
Ah, very good, very good. Okay, so you guys do have a system in place for yourselves personally, but you, of course, I assume, don't know exactly what that's going to mean as far as how bad it is and how much is going to be covered, because you're still in the middle of this right now. The water is literally in your house right now.
Exactly, and don't forget, it's not just the building itself; it's all our contents. You know, fridges, all your kitchen, you know, beds, even pretty much all our clothes are in there. You know, we left with a couple of bags because, you know, we thought we'd be staying, you know, away from the home for what, maximum a week or something. But yeah, pretty much we've lost everything that we brought from the UK. We've lost, so it's pretty bad, you know.
Did you lose any like personal items that only you would care about, like photos or
So wedding album, yeah. So all of that, you don't think, oh, it's not valuable, so there's no point bringing it. So all of those little things, in its way, Yuliya put it on. We did a live stream, and yeah, unfortunately got a little bit upset. It's just it's those little things, you know, like the children's books and children's toys or something like that. You know, that it was things we couldn't bring much from the UK because it was just ridiculous trying to ship as much. It was hard to ship stuff from the UK. So, as you know from one of my videos, I drove the car from the UK and brought as much as we could, and as much as we kind of could in suitcases. So really, we came with 4 suitcases here with all of our important belongings, and yeah, a lot of that is in the house now, in the water.
Yeah, shall I give the example? Like, for example, we had this 1942 fairy tale book in English, you know, which belongs to our eldest son. So yeah, you can't find a book like that anymore. You know, it was very special, and
yeah, no, it's hard because I remember when our house burned down in Florida, and it's just like everything is gone. Like the toilets are gone. Like just everything is just destroyed. The firefighters stopped it enough to save like one closet, and so there were a few things, but mostly everything we had was gone. I mean, I have with me some childhood toys that survived that were in that closet. And I just let the kids play with them, and sometimes they break and we throw them away. And it was terrible, but it kind of helped kind of break me of stuff, you know, because I lost everything practically. And so then when it came time for me to move here, we couldn't take anything with us because we were flying from America, and we all had a backpack and a piece of luggage, and that's it. And it would have been harder had I not gone through the tragedy of having the whole house burned down years before, you know, because I'm already used to, you know, losing everything, you know. If there's any bright side to it, you know, it's kind of like, I guess it was practice for me to know that, you know, one day I have to leave it all behind.
So yeah, I don't know. It's just, yeah, it's just upsetting kind of talking about it. You know, we wanted to do this, but it hit us like about 2 days ago. Like all of a sudden, like, wow, actually, you know, we've lost everything. You know, it really is, and it's
in the space of 18 months, isn't it? You know, because first we lost it first when we moved to Russia, basically. We had to leave it all behind. Donated loads of our stuff, like mainly all our stuff, to Russian church and to lots of refugees coming to UK, and yeah,
because it wasn't easy, obviously, to get stuff to Russia. You know, with obviously
it was impossible, basically. You know, no travel, like no company would take on such thing, you know, and it would cost so much, you know, that it would be like pointless, you know, bringing stuff here.
Right. Yeah. Okay, well, how about this audience question? Is there any government help? Anything in the form of government help?
So again, you're best on that one.
Do you mind if I answer?
Yeah, please go right ahead.
Yeah. So there is government help in Russia, of course, you know, for victims of such events, and there is like a one-time sort of help at the event, you know, but it takes about 11 days to like for the application to be reviewed, and then 15 days for the payment to go through. And so this is just one first level. Then all depends on the damage is made. You know, if there is a complete loss of the house, they said they would give a certificate to purchase another one or to like build another one. Unfortunately, it's not really clear at the moment, you know, like how much that certificate would cover, or if they build a new house, would there be relevant sort of area, or do you know what I mean, in terms of location to the city? You know, it could be like some field far away, you know, you don't know, you know, or like what quality of the house. They might give you the house the same square meters, but or smaller. We don't really know, you know, like what's and the quality, the build quality, because like we really liked our build qualities, and we liked our house a lot.
Yeah, the build quality, and you know, the material, even the internals that you do, you know, the way you do your bathroom and your kitchen and all this stuff. We'll be honest, we put a lot of our life savings into this house, you know. Yes, we had to mortgage part of it as well because we didn't have endless amounts of money. But it's it's, you know, whatever they're offering, I don't think we're ever going to get back how we had it. It's, you know, unfortunately, I don't think any government works like that. They're never going to say, yeah, you go, there's X amount of rubles, yeah, go do what you want and put it right.
Like highest spec, you know, because we our thought process was, you know, like coming here, you know, we wanted to provide a good life space, you know, for our children, because we've got 3 children, and we want, because we knew it's going to be our only property we're going to be living in the next X amount of years. So we invested into like all the internal work, you know,
to make it a family home.
Yes, we went for the best tiles, best flooring, you know, like best doors, and same as everybody else in this neighborhood, you know, it's their only house, you know, they wanted to kind of live for long term there. So I don't know what we're gonna get in return, if we're gonna get any, like, there will be something, you know, they promise. I'm not doubting there will be something, but could you compare it to with what you had originally? I'm not sure. I'm not so sure. Yeah. And I think, like Martyn said, no government works like that, isn't it? You know, and unfortunately, you know, the budgets are limited, and there are lots of people affected. So it's a big budget for everybody.
No, it's true. I mean, that our house that burned down, we never got that back. We never rebuilt it. You know, we had to go on to smaller houses, and it was like for us, like the perfect house, and then it was gone and never came back. All right, so we have another question here. I want to put on the screen. I want to know how you're going to, now we've already talked about this, but people join the live stream late, so you guys can recap on this. I want to know how you're going to get through while your houses are submerged in water. I mean, where do people go to sleep, eat, etc. these next few days?
Yeah, so we're probably fairly lucky. We've got family here. We have got a place to stay. Yeah, it's a small flat. There's 7 of us in a 2-bedroom apartment with Yuliya's mum and dad. So yeah, we count ourselves lucky. We've actually got a roof over our head. But some people obviously might not be in the same situation as us. They've got nowhere to stay, no family, no friends here. So again, Yuliya, what do you know what the city that are doing? Is it if they made makeshift shelters?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, there are shelters for people, and they get in their food supplies in there and some clothing and lots of volunteers going and helping. I think because Orenberg is the center of this region, the people in here slightly more well off, than Orsk, for example, people who live in Orsk. So I think more people went into temporary accommodation in Orsk than there is in here. But unfortunately, also in our group today, I read in our development group, I read that people who had to get evacuated, they went to different areas, and these areas are getting evacuated too. So
wow.
Twice, yeah.
And just to keep in mind, governments they have limits to the money they have to put into this stuff. So, ideally the government helps you some, insurance helps you some, family helps you some, because I have seen some people, sound like they're irritated, like the government's not giving that much. I mean, the government's gonna do what it can do, So
yes.
You want to say something, Martyn?
No, and just even ourselves again, just for maybe a few people that have joined in. We're a family of 7 living together now, but Yuliya's parents also had a summer house at Dacha that's been completely flooded, and a sister was built a house next door to that, pretty much directly next door, which she was actually living in, and she had to evacuate it because the water there is up to the roof. It's actually in the roof there, so it's affected 3 of our houses. This flood. So Yuliya's sister's now living with her sister in a one-bedroom apartment in the same community blocks here. So that's kind of 8, 9 of us, all living together.
Right. So we have another question here. I don't know the answer to this. It's a curious idea. Is this regular flood water or the water from a broken dam? Do you guys know?
Yes, I will touch on it a little bit. I did notice there was a little bit more snow. Everyone's saying still it wasn't that much snow, but this is my 2nd winter, and I did think there was more snow this winter here in Orenberg, and I noticed like even Moscow, St. Petersburg, the whole of Russia had quite a snowy winter. So I do think there was a little bit more snow than last year, but it's not just because of the melting snow. I will say that, and I do know that it's to do with dams and a few things in other rivers, isn't it? Which Yuliya is far better to explain than me.
Yes. So basically the way it goes, we have a big, really large water reservoir on the east of the region, where basically Ural River. The water from neighboring regions are being collected. Is being collected in this water reservoir, and then you have dams which were protecting Orsk, town of Orsk. So the dams that got burst, they basically the ones which were protecting Orsk, not Orenberg. So the big reservoir has its own massive dam, like proper concrete structure, which is still working fine. But because they had such a big amount of water, which got collected in there, and I think from like not emptying it in time. Do you know what I mean? So it's got overflown, and they had to flush the water onto Orsk, and it burst the Orsk smaller, basically like a mud hills, I would say, like the dams, and then so that got flooded Orsk to begin with, which actually helped Orenberg in a way that Orsk took the hit for us, because the water spilled into them, and less water went down to Orenberg. But now the levels of water in Orsk are reducing, so we get in that water. Orenberg is getting, basically.
Right.
So I don't know if I explained it all right.
Yeah, it's very difficult to explain. That's why I wanted you to, because it's even confusing to me not knowing kind of the geography as well. But to me, yeah, it seems like the water it was released too late all at once. It should have probably been released at different periods of time.
Like a month prior to that.
And that's what's happened.
They collected too much water in that lake, massive lake, basically.
Okay, so it's just an oversight.
Yeah.
And there's debate over whether or not this, well, I guess it did affect you guys, but it was like the next city over.
Yeah, well, our snow melted. By the time we had this wave hitting us, our snow in our fields had melted and sunk into the ground. So we didn't have our own snow. It's not our snow that did this to us.
So I did actually put out an earlier video on my channel about the melting snow, because to me, I've never seen that much snow kind of melt, and obviously it looked like it was kind of flooding then. There was lots of puddles and everything, and the roads were quite saturated, the ground was, but that all did eventually kind of soak away pretty much. And then we were hit with this, so it wasn't just the snow melting is our point.
Wow. Yeah, I know in Moscow there were 2 record snowfall days this season, and then the snow like disappeared so fast. Like I have video clips on my phone because I checked it, because I was like, wait, where'd the snow go? And it was like 2 weeks ago, I was surrounded by snow in a video clip on my phone, and now there's nothing. So for me, in my 2 years here and the vacations I came here beforehand, the snow left like real fast, like faster than I've ever seen it. So I don't know if that's more of a wider thing, and it was just too much snow turning into water all at one time. I don't know. So
yeah, well, there will be they will be checking on that, and they will decide what really caused it.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna have to investigate like crazy, and anyone who is involved higher up, they're probably nervous, hoping that evidence doesn't say that they were neglectful in some way. So we have another information with a question that you may have already sort of answered, but I wanted to put it up here for the information at least. And then if there's anything you haven't touched on in this, it says Commerçant newspaper today says 38,000 people have applied for compensation. 11,700 have already received it. Do you intend to apply for compensation? Is this something you were already talking about?
Yes, I kind of touched on it. I'm sorry again. Yes, I have applied, and this is what I talked about. There is like 11 days to get the approval and 15 days to get paid, which basically means that it's just not enough government workers dealing with the applications, which is absolutely understandable. We can't comment on numbers really. I don't really kind of sort of watch. How many people applied, all the figures. 38,000 people. I don't know. True or not, to be honest with you, I can't confirm the figures.
But to answer that, yes, we have applied, because I'll be honest, we need as much money as we can now. We don't know. Yeah, we put our life savings into this. We did. We're not going to lie, and we're mortgaged, and we don't even know if the insurance is going to cover us on that mortgage. So yes, we've applied for all help we can. You know, we're here in a flat. We can't just expect kind of because it's knocked us from working as well. You know, we haven't worked for best part of a week now. We haven't slept properly for since we evacuated. You know, nobody's sleeping. Everybody is just it's surreal. It's awful. You know, so we've taken a big financial hit here. You know, which we don't know if we're going to recover from. So our house now is worth zero. You know, it's in negative equity and it's worth zero. So
Right.
yeah, that's where we are, to be honest. Sorry for getting kind of a little bit, you know, uptight there, but that's the reality, isn't it? And that's
you're completely fine. You don't have to apologize at all. You're in a tough situation and you sound completely reasonable. But I understand you and I like to be completely in control. So you feel like you're out of control, even with this little bit of emotion, but you're completely fine and appropriate. Very good. So another question here, again, that we have already talked about to a degree. And, you know, what do you guys think? Do you think that you might decide to live somewhere else now this flooding has been so bad?
So I'll start with that one. No, we don't want to. We do like the city. We like the area. We like the region. We like being by family. The boys are in very good schools. Really nice school. What we've touched on that they like. So no, we're not going to run away. One thing I will say though is like our community, it seems as though kind of I don't know how do you say their kind of attitude. I don't know. It's changed.
It brought everybody together, isn't it?
Yeah. It's brought everybody together, but there's a few people coming now saying they don't want to go back there, you know, which is understandable, you know, to see what's happened. So there are people saying that they don't want to, but ourselves, we want to try and salvage the home. With some of the donation money that we've already had, we've ordered dehumidifiers. People that don't know what they are, they're like big industrial machines that dry the air, so that rather than like heaters, it's more, it takes the moisture out of the air. So we've ordered those. We've ordered generators. We're going to order generators and pressure washers and things like that. So my point to that is we're trying to salvage our home because we do want to go back in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that is all saying if it's structurally safe to be in that.
Yeah.
That's what we don't know yet. That's the thing. That's why we can't really order too much equipment, because we don't know whether it's going to be useful or not. That's the biggest issue, because we don't know the extent of the damage yet.
Even if if the house is salvaged, if we can salvage it or not.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my big questions for you. That was in the back of my head is, you know, are you going to be able to go back to that location or not? What's the future for this flooded area? And it sounds like you guys just don't know yet, because we don't know how bad the damage is going to be.
Nobody knows. There are going to be a commission or something. Yeah, what's called commission, not commission in English. So basically, team of three people, teams of three people, engineers. They're gonna evaluate. They're gonna they're gonna estimate. I don't know. They're just gonna do their checks and give us their valuable opinion, you know, on whether it's worth going back or not. Yeah.
Yeah, so then this is a good time to put on this question. Wild Siberia is asking, he's got his own YouTube channel about Russia. What sort of help? Now, we've already answered this in terms of money, but perhaps you guys know what else the government might be doing outside of giving people money. What sort of help has already come from the oblast, city, or the government? Is there anything which has been done? So do you guys know of anything, or do you see anything beyond being able to apply for financial assistance that the government's doing?
Really? Sorry, by the way, Wild Siberia, hello Dania, watch your channel as well. It's a great channel, so thanks for the question. We don't know.
We don't know. Nobody asked us. Nobody contacted us. Yeah. You know, we are large family. You know, considered to be large family. We're registered as a large family with 3 children, as you know. And no, social services haven't been in touch. nobody asked how we're doing psychologically or in any other way.
Okay. Well, it's sad. It's sad to hear it like that. You did mention, I think, that they were setting up like areas for people to go to like rescue areas, something like that. Did you say that earlier? Like refugee areas?
Yes, there are refugee camps. Yeah, definitely. If people like lost their houses completely, of course there would be some sort of work. But to be honest with you, we don't really know, because one thing, we don't watch the news, because we watch at the moment we just watch Telegram channel of like snippets of information which are relevant to us. Because you just can't take it all in. So I don't know, maybe there is a work, within the those centers, maybe you should go and apply for it or something, but no, we haven't received any calls or anything, from anybody.
Okay. Well, I have another question I was going to put on the screen, or I guess more information. I did see in one of your videos that, of course, the city is building up berms, like huge plastic sandbags, trying to keep it out of the center. So that's helpful. I know that.
That's for the first time I drove into the city, obviously today, to evacuate from school, and it's the first time I've seen that amount of kind of makeshift dams and sandbags. They're pretty much, it was in a lot of locations around the city today. Yeah.
So, and here's another comment that they're sending humanitarian aid like drinking water and medicines by plane. So, and again, you guys don't have to know everything. You are just people that are in the middle of this, tragedy. And so we wanted to talk to you and see what it's looking like. You don't have to be expected to be the experts. But on the subject of assisting people and assisting you, I got someone new I want to add to this show.
Hey.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Good to talk to you for the first time.
Yeah.
On video. You and I have spoken many times.
It's actually the only second time I've been on video.
Yes.
Actually on like a live stream. So yeah.
Oh, really?
All, yeah. I did one with Russell, and then this is the second time. So guys, it's really horrible. I feel so sorry for you. I can't imagine what you're going through. I really can't. Must be awful.
So if you guys don't know this man, this is Sam from Sam's Russian Adventures. He has a YouTube channel. He is also a fellow Brit like Martyn. And I wanted to bring him on because he has set up something that is for these guys. So Sam, can you explain to us what's going on?
Well, the situation that these guys are in, I mean, it's absolutely awful. I just can't imagine what it'd be like. When we were speaking today, when I spoke to you a little bit earlier today, and you asked me, have I been in a situation, and you were saying that you lost your home in a house fire in the past. And you asked me if I've experienced anything similar. And I was thinking, I lose my mind when I lose my phone. I've lost my phone a couple of times and I've lost my mind. Thinking, what must it be like for you guys? Like, it's absolutely insane. I can't imagine how awful it must be for you. And for me to make a 3-minute video and ask people to donate, it's nothing, is it? So yeah, just see someone in help, and like, I'm not anything. I just made a video. If you've got a little audience, you can do something to help, then you try to help, don't you? That's all. But these guys must have been, I can't imagine what they're going through. Yeah, so really sorry.
Right. So you set something up for them, Sam? Can you explain where people can go?
I've set up a GoFundMe campaign. So the GoFundMe campaign, I'm going to be putting below all my videos, and I've shared it in my Telegram chat, and I've asked, I think you've been sharing it as well, right? Yeah, Joseph. So yeah, it's just a way that if you're living outside of Russia and you'd like to donate, obviously you can donate directly to obviously to Martyn, or you can donate through the GoFundMe campaign, and the goal is just to raise as much money as possible to help these guys in this situation. Yeah, so
Yeah, for everyone who's watching, if it's on your heart, if you are so moved and you want to donate a little bit to them, it doesn't have to be a lot. If everyone donates a little bit, it can go a long way to help these guys and their children. And in the description of this video, there is the link to the GoFundMe that Sam set up for them, and also many other links that Martyn gave me, because we all have different ways that we can pay for things. So if you want to donate in one way, you can do it this way, or you can do it the other way, and that would definitely.
It would be great if all the YouTubers and everyone, like you just seen Dan has just spoke to you. It would be really good if Dan could perhaps copy the link and put it on his channel, and all the other YouTubers in the community, because we're all like a little mini community, aren't we? Kind of like we chat every now and again and stuff, and we help each other out. So it'd be really good if we could all, help Martyn out and all advertise those links, whether it be Martyn's link or mine. Doesn't really make any difference. All the money's going to help him and his family. So that would be really good. If you're watching this and you've got a YouTube channel, copy and paste the link, put it on your channel, put it on your videos, put it in your Telegram groups that you've got. Most of us have got Telegram groups, right? And maybe give a shout out at the end of your videos to ask people to please to help. It's not a difficult thing, we're all, it could happen. This kind of thing could happen to any of us at any time, and I think we all need to support each other. I was actually just editing a video yesterday that I made about housing area, and I realized at the end of the video I'd said, oh, go and check out Martyn's channel, and that was before I made the video, before obviously all of this happened. And now I'm gonna go back and make another ending and put it on there because obviously of the situation. But I think we're all in this little community, in this YouTube world, and I think if we can all share this situation and try and help these guys, obviously.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Sam. It's a great idea, because other YouTubers are probably watching, and yeah, I would recommend that they copy the links that are in this description, and you just made it like a 3-minute video to let people know about their situation, right? So
as I said, like, and Constantine from Real Reporter, so he's made a post on his YouTube channel with the link as well. And I know maybe people don't want to share my video. That's fine. Make your own little video on the subject, upload it, and put the link in there. It's completely fine. The goal is not to show my video. The goal is to raise money for these guys. So yeah.
Yes, exactly. And this is a subject that is at least of interest to Russia, and hopefully we can get it to be of interest to the world, so that we can humanize Russia, like I said. Yeah. And so if you're a YouTuber, make a 3-minute video. It'll help them as well as it can't hurt you. It'll probably help you a little bit too, because it's a topical topic.
Definitely.
Wow. How do you two know each other? I didn't even know. I mean, I know you, but I know you're both British. Do all the British people hang out, or what?
Do you want me to answer? So we've I don't know who set it up. I think Russell from Traveling Russell was born in the UK. I didn't know that. I thought it was Australian. Wow. So he set up a little chat group for Brits in Russia. And we're all in there. But I don't think I haven't spoken to Martyn personally until this situation happened. I just know he was in the group. And obviously, we'd probably have ended up chatting, if it hadn't been for this situation. But like this came first. I've seen him comment in the group here and there. We kind of like have a little bit of banter about different things. I've seen him comment, so I knew he was in the group. So yeah, and then I saw the situation, and so yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's a community that we've kind of all got together as YouTubers here in Russia. Like EXPAT American said, trying to promote Russia in the positive way that we're trying to do. But can I just say, thank you to Sam there, because he didn't have to do that. Yes, this is the first time I've spoken to you as well. Yes, I know you through your YouTube channel, but I don't know you that well. But it's just like, wow. And to be honest, when we kind of made our video to say we need help, we found that video very difficult to do. We didn't want to initially ask for help in terms of money, but like I said, we realized, wow, we've got nothing after this. It's literally, so we kind of, you know, spoke to you and a few other people and saying, yes, you know, you must do it. You have to ask for help, because like I said, it's not just kind of us affected in our family. We've got other extended family members who've also lost their homes in this as well. So yeah, we took the courage to kind of ask for help, is what I'm trying to say here. It wasn't easy. I've never asked for money or donations in my life, always worked hard for our money, but we've taken a big financial hit here and we're kind of stuck. So yes, and it's thank you to Sam and yourself, Joseph, and people like Russell from Traveling with Russell. Sorry, I can't remember everybody, but for sharing the content. Because ideally on the back of all of this is to grow my channel as well and give me the kind of inspiration to carry on this channel after all of this. Kind of, I want to do this, you know, I want to show just a lot of my videos at the moment are kind of negative in all of what I'm reporting in a sense, but I can't, once all this hopefully settles down and we get back to some normality, I want to continue with the kind of positive videos I was doing, if that makes sense.
No, it does make sense. Yeah,
I don't see anything negative in your videos at all. You're showing your life, and obviously you're in a difficult situation, so there's nothing negative there. If you see some of the stuff I show every now and again, you'll change your mind about negative. So with regards to helping, that's the reason what's the point in life? The point in life is to help, to help other people, isn't it? So so it's not even like a thing, don't even, and it really is. Obviously, I understand it's brave of you to ask. It must have been difficult to ask. I remember when you said that your wife's sister, with her house as well, was it your wife's sister, I think, and her house? Yeah, and I thought, blimey, it's not just even you, it's like you've got nowhere to go, so yeah, blimey, it's, yeah, I can't imagine what it's like for you, so, and you're very calm. Martyn, you're very calm. It's as if you've just, as if you're on the beach on holiday. You're very calm. I really respect that. But maybe inside you're, having a million emotions going through your head, but you look very calm and relaxed. So yeah, it's that's a good quality to have.
No, thanks. It's just, well, it's support from my wife as well. We're supporting each other and family and everything. But yeah, we'll say we're mentally exhausted. We're not sleeping. I'll tell you that. Comments from people on our YouTube channel have said, you look exhausted, guys. I think somebody's donated us £15 and said, go and have a coffee, go relax. Don't think about videos. Just go sort yourselves out. Isn't it?
Yes, we were even told, to go on holiday. I'd love to do that. I can't at the moment. I won't be able to relax.
I really liked one part of your video. Sorry, what's your wife's name? I didn't.
Sorry, Yuliya.
Yuliya. I really liked one part of the video. I know this is slightly off topic, when you were speaking to your son and you asked him, I can't remember if it was about soup and something with the cat, soup with the cat or something. Yeah. I thought.
Yeah.
That was really funny. I really liked that. That was really, that was so funny to watch.
That was your idea, so thanks. Yeah.
No, it just happened by
chance,
by chance, exactly. And then I decided, hold on, we just stop there. I'm gonna take a phone and I'm gonna film that because it was really funny.
It was funny.
He genuinely didn't know what it means, so he thought I made some dodgy Russian soup.
I was thinking about Korean with dog and Russian soup with cat. Yeah.
But again, it was also to show how well the boys have adapted to Russian, how they're learning Russian and enjoying learning Russian, all the culture, and that's part of the reason why we're doing these videos as YouTubers, is to show the world how foreigners can be in Russia. It's so yeah.
They'll be fluent in a couple of years, I guess. They'll just absorb all of that, that's going on around them, and then they'll be fluent. Yeah. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, guys who are watching, you've heard their story and you hear their situation, and with that in mind, please click share and send this live stream on to more people right now, so we can get some more people in the live stream that know about their situation and know about the situation in Russia. Sam, well, first off, this question I put on the screen, we talked about this earlier, so you guys can rewind, but they appear to be connected. And Sam, do you have any questions for them? Anything that came to your mind as you've been watching this and you've thought about this situation?
I'm just sort of shocked at how calm and collected they are. That's the thing that I noticed. It's incredible. But what do? Do you just wait? I mean, I wouldn't know what to do. I guess while the water is there, there's nothing really you can really do. Or
that's the frustrating bit. Yeah, it's just literally, like we said earlier in the live, it's kind of twice a day they're updating it with the levels of the water. We get like an emergency kind of message through, and it's saying, no, it's gone up another 30 centimeters, another 70 centimeters, another X, and we're waking up in the middle of the night to check, oh, is the water, hopefully it's not increased. Oh, yes, it has. So yeah, it's a total waiting game and just uncertainty of when is it going to stop coming. And that's why I'm trying to do on my videos, just update a perspective of where I keep going down to show you where the water's creeping back to gradually. So,
and I guess you don't know what it's like inside the house at the moment.
Not our house, but other people's houses where they get into the house.
Yeah, but I would say, so it looks as though where the water level is, it's the same level inside.
Oh wow, blimey.
Yeah. Oh yeah, at this point it's the same. Water finds a way. Someone had asked about, well, if the door is sealed tight enough, isn't that going to keep the water out? No, it doesn't work like that. I mean, a tight door will keep the water out if it's like a couple of centimeters for like a couple hours. But after that, water will always find a way.
There's one question that, and I saw quite a few people wrote in the comments under the video that I made about you. They were asking what type of material is the house. I don't know if you've covered this already. What type of material is the house made out of? Some people were saying if it's concrete, then it will be more affected than if it's like, the foundations. I don't know really about it, but I don't know if you can.
Yeah, it's one thing that really I liked about the properties here in Russia. The build quality is quite amazing. They're very, very solid houses. They're concrete foundations, and because here it gets to almost minus 40 in winter, it's pretty much averages around minus 25 to minus 30, so they have to be insulated. So it's brick, then quite a thick insulation in the middle, and then what we call in the UK like a breeze block or a concrete block on the inside. So yeah, it's quite a solid structure, and then it's only the roof that's the worst structure. That's wooden. So if it goes to the roof, which it possibly could, that the roof may come off. I don't. Yeah.
Okay.
The concrete foundation in America, that sounds like just the floor. But what's good to know is that it's concrete walls as well. So worst case scenario, you still have your walls and your floor if they say the area is safe enough for people to return to. Is that right?
Yeah, and then they'll assess the foundations, and I think they can even look at kind of like underpinning, fixing the foundations, things like that. But yeah, it's when the assessment's been done, and but people are saying that the insulation will be the worst. To kind of that'll be soaking wet. It's literally in the middle of the walls. You've got the brick on the outside, you can see there, then the insulation, then the concrete, and that is quite thick here. Like in the UK, it's only quite a thin, but here because it's so cold, and that is just going to be soaking wet, with a lot of. So we don't know what kind of the walls are going to be like inside, because obviously inside it's all plastered, and then all your electrics in there, just
nightmare. I don't know. And the insurance, you might have covered it already. You just insured for your mortgage payments, or are you insured for damage from like disasters?
No, it's just the mortgage. Yeah,
that's the thing in Russia. I think it might be a thing everywhere. I've never been in a flood before, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's.
And then also all the things inside, your fridge and
the whole kitchen,
all your furniture, clothes, everything, kitchen. That's not insured. No.
Yeah, all the electronics is just damaged. In America, it's like we call it sheetrock. Did you guys have sheetrock as well? It's like the plaster walls, right?
Oh,
yeah.
So
So here it is kind of plastered onto the concrete block. So all the electrical wiring is sunk in. It's kind of done and kind of bolted to the concrete blocks, and then it's all plastered over. So it's all the plaster will have to be ripped off, because probably all the electrics, if they don't dry out, will have to be rewired. So it's a big.
And you said you already bought a dehumidifier, or you're saving up for a dehumidifier?
So we've already purchased one, because we're hoping to share these with our neighbours in the community. We managed to get a hold of one. It was 72,000 rubles for a dehumidifier. So that's kind of the cost of things like and it's the need of generators, because we just don't know when the electricity is going to be switched back on. Because as you know, in Russia, you can see the kind of what we call pylons, or the concrete pillars there that have all the wires, and then there's kind of the blue stations here, the electric stations on the development, and they're submerged completely underwater. So how do you repair or replace that as well? So like electric is going to be on for a long time unless we buy our own generators, and they're looking at about 100 to 150,000 ruble for them. And then so it's all well and good turning up with this equipment. You need to power it as well. So we just don't know what the cost of. So that's kind of the story with the donations. We have to assess the damage before we can really say, right, where is this money going to be used? Can we salvage the house, or is it going to go to the community to help? We need to figure out where this money is going. Yes, we're going to have to use a lot of the money for our family to rebuild. Like Yuliya's sister needs a place to live. She's homeless at the moment. We are pretty much homeless at the moment. Yes, we've got an apartment here, but we can't live 7 of us forever. So we're going to have to rebuild somehow. So, but if there is kind of money left over or something, or equipment that we bought, will help the community that way as well.
Right.
Makes sense.
Right. Wow.
Yeah,
so
I'm trying to think of something positive
that you're going to be able
back
to move in, right? Oh, sorry, Sam. Go ahead.
So I was just going to say, I was trying to somehow show empathy or think of something positive to say, but because I'm not in the situation, I just can't imagine what it must be like. It's just, I
think the positive on it is it's brought our immediate family together. We've got a baby daughter who's 9 months old, and she's spending more time with her grandparents now, which is amazing. So she's a lovely little baby girl. She's got a great personality, so she's making everybody laugh. So it's great. And also, it's what I found from my YouTube channel. It's brought like communities from across the world together. Like Sydney, Australia is flooding at the moment, or at the moment it has been. And we've had a lot of comments come through from Australia saying, hope praying for Orenberg, and it's gone the other way as well. So it's kind of brought Sydney and Australia, Sydney and Orenberg together within our community. So that's some positives out of it, I would say.
Yes, that was Wild Siberia's question. I don't know if you guys read it or not. Is there anything positive you can say about people watching, something to be optimistic about, even though it's hard? That's great.
Yeah, Karen, you say that.
Our little village, our little development is also got closer together, because before, we barely knew each other. Kind of, you would say hello to your neighbor and just get into your house, like everywhere else. Modern living, isn't it? Like that. But now we're all in these group chats, and we help each other. We help each other with the paperwork, because some people didn't have the official registration stamp in their passports, that they live in this area. It's, you need to have that in Russia. So in order to apply for any government help, you need to prove that you live in this house. Even if you own it, it doesn't mean you live in it, and it doesn't mean you're entitled to help, like for relocation, like payout. So we're all kind of helping each other, with the paperwork and
again, even equipment. Like we managed to get some of the last available, the big kind of welly boots, we call them wellies in the UK, but like fishing boots, where the
high-rise rubber boots. And
even they come over with the kind of suspenders to hold.
Wow.
So we managed to order some of them on Amazon, and we got a couple of the last pairs from a fishing shop. We drove there because we wanted to get back to our house on what you showed earlier, Joseph. So we've actually lent them to your sister, and one of our neighbours has asked, "Have you got any? Can we borrow them?" So we said, "Yes, come round to the apartment here, the flat, and just take them when you need them." Yeah.
So
again, we bought that with the donation money, and it's being used for other people when they want to as well.
Brilliant. Sorry, go
ahead, Sam.
How big an area is flooded? Obviously, your settlement's flooded. Is the whole area, or are you far from the river? How a massive scale is the flooding?
Pretty big, isn't it? So yeah, we were close to the Ural River, and then we've also got the Ural River is crazy. It's obviously a very, very meandering kind of river, and it's created a lot of oxbow lakes. This is my geography, GCSE geography coming out. It's created a lot of lakes. So we've got like 4 or 5 lakes around us, and obviously, so those lakes are one side. The Ural River is the other side of us. The lakes are filled, so it's come from like kind of both directions with us, where the water's flowed from the west to the east now. So so from Orsway down to us, and it's come right across the city, hasn't it, through the fields. East to west, probably mixed up there. So it's, I don't know, I put some satellite images from is it Rosmacos?
Cosmos,
yeah. And it's just, when you see them, it's a massive area. It's pretty big, isn't it?
And it's not only Ural River, it's also some other smaller rivers in the region, which also. And also we have Kazakhstan, which is just below us. They have their own floods in there. So it seems like this whole region is basically bursting with water.
Yeah, I've seen a few reports on Kazakhstan. It's one of their worst emergencies on record as well. I think the president reporting what I've briefly seen, and tens of thousands have been evacuated there as well. And Kazakhstan is about 200 kilometers drive from us, so it's quite close to us.
So the whole area. Interesting. How about this question on the screen here? Martyn, do you have your own business? Are you aware that Orenberg business community has been granted business loan holidays on account of the flooding? Are you aware of this? Do you have a business that could benefit from this?
So we don't have a business as such based in Russia or Orenberg. We still have an online presence with our business in the UK.
And we don't have business loans either, so,
no, we
so
don't
it's
have
not really
business loans,
affecting us.
Because we're online, we don't really have any overheads or anything like that. So it's not really gonna.
Well, I mean,
but
we registered as a self-employed in here to say, like, but it's not like we're entitled to any support from. It's not like we're not entitled. We don't have any business loans in here that would apply. Sort of would be covered with this release and stuff, so it doesn't work.
I don't know. Maybe it could help my YouTube channel. Maybe it could help me become reporter for Orenberg. I don't know.
They could offer you something for sure if this continues.
I was going to ask, what about in the UK? Have you had any response from anyone there, or what people said there, or are they just like, oh, it's Russia? Or...
Yeah, it's we do have some really nice comments from the UK, and obviously because the UK is close to me, I'm from there. It's always nice to get messages from the UK, because obviously with the likes of how should we say it, mainstream media, I don't want to name names, but the way kind of Russia is portrayed in England.
We understand.
It's nice to see that people see through that. I'm trying to word it in the correct way here. See through that and seen it through the eyes of what is in my pretty much description. I'm showing what Russia is like through the eyes of an Englishman, and how an English family has adapted and is enjoying themselves here. I'm laughing because it's just surreal what's going on. So. Yes, we do get a lot of nice comments from the UK. Absolutely, probably like yourself, Sam, as well.
Church, our old community.
We were part of so Bristol. Obviously, you know where Bristol is, southwest of England. We went to Russian Orthodox Church there. We were part of that community actually very involved. I maintained their website for them when we lived in England, and obviously Yuliya is very involved. She was secretary of that. Treasurer. So we were very active within in that church. So we've had a lot of messages come through from them, and they've also offered us our support as well. So some sort of support there as well. So because they're obviously Russian community within Bristol. Yeah.
It was the Orthodox Church services, were they in Russian as well or in English?
Yeah, Russian.
Yeah. Oh, okay, wow.
Yeah,
wow.
and I'd attend it. I didn't.
Very cool.
No, the service was in English as well.
Was it? I didn't understand half the service. It was in But yeah, it was some aspects of it were in English, yes, but the actual kind of
yeah, the majority of people who went there, they were Russian.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So how about this? So you guys are Orthodox Christians then?
Yeah, cool. I was baptized in Bristol. It's called the Orthodox of the Holy Trinity Bristol. That's the name of the church. It's a Russian Orthodox church. I was baptized the same day my son was baptized as well. Yeah.
Wow. Very good. So you were becoming Russian before you moved here.
Yeah.
Orthodox Christian.
Yeah, we didn't hide that we were a Russian family, and because of what happened, with kind of Russophobia, it was one of the reasons why we wanted to come here. We won't deny it. It wasn't nice seeing what was in the headlines every single day, and me being an Englishman and having to kind of choose a side in a way, and it's
very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a good perspective on this, because I was an American in Russia, when all this went down, and you were married to a Russian living in England when all this or in Britain when all this went down. So you have a different perspective, a different story you can share with people on your channel. So that's very good.
Absolutely, yeah.
So here's a question that will give people a little bit more information about you guys. Of course, some people already know the answer to this question. It's absolutely terrible what happened. The person from Wales is his wife from Russia. How did you come to Russia? So give us a better explanation for those who don't know you guys.
So we lived in Wales. I'm not actually Welsh. I was born in England. I was actually born in Manchester. Lived in Derbyshire part of my life. So I'm actually English, but we lived in Wales. I pretty much grew up in Wales from the age of 9. So I've got a very good friends, family, all of that in Wales. So yeah, I have a good kind of base and links with Wales. But I was living in Bristol, and you moved into the same apartment block as me, didn't you?
Yes. So I'm Russian. My name is Yuliya. Yes, I'm from Russia, from Orenberg. It's just a place where we live now, and it's not affected badly by these floods. Yeah, and we met in Bristol, and we lived there.
Because you moved to England about how many years ago?
In 2010. Yeah, so 14 years ago.
Wow. So you guys just bumped into each other in the same apartment building.
Yeah, it was pretty romantic, actually.
Yeah. It's quite a romantic story. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Wow. Another video you can make for your channel.
Yeah. Yeah, we won't say too much.
Very cool. So we have another comment here. I don't know if you guys know this or if this can help you. You need to contact the Center for Social Support of the Population of the Leninsky District of the City of Orenberg to get information on help. Do you guys know this already?
Okay, social support of population. Okay, I'll try to do that, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice tip.
Well, yeah, but okay.
So guys, we're going to wrap this thing up here in about 5 minutes. So I want, think about what you'd like to share with everyone who's watching before I hang up. And as you think, I'll just remind everyone, to like and subscribe to my channel, their channel, Martyn, who is there with his wife, Yuliya, going through this tragedy of losing their home to floodwaters, and hopefully they'll be able to get back. And of course, Sam from Sam's Russian Adventures, you can subscribe to his channel as well. So we are the males here. We are foreigners living in Russia, trying to show the world in English that Russia is a normal place. Of course, we have a Russian lady here as well who's supporting her husband in this adventure. And usually we're doing positive videos, and we are still keeping our spirits up here. But this video is about a terrible situation that's happening in Russia. So, like, subscribe, share. And so, guys, wrap this thing up for us. Sam, why don't you tell us whatever you'd like to say? What do you think from the situation you want to share with the world?
Well, as I said, it's so difficult to imagine. There's so many things happening in the world, and it's really hard for us to put ourselves in someone else's situation. But I think if you watch Martyn's channel, go and watch Martyn's channel, subscribe to Martyn's channel, and after you've watched a couple of his updates, you'll start to understand how difficult the situation is that they're in. And if not a lot of people say, I haven't got the money to send. If you haven't got, that's fine. Just pray for these guys, and ask your family to pray for them, ask your church to pray for them, and see if anyone you know could share their video. That's great. That's amazing. If you don't feel guilty about not having money to send them. We all have priorities in our lives, but pray for them, and ask others to pray, and ask people to share, and that will be incredible.
Right. Well,
I agree. Yeah, you could really feel when you're in a situation like that, in a critical situation, you really feel prayers of other people. Yeah, we felt that because we had our daughter, who's 9 months old at the moment. She was born prematurely, and she was this summer, and she had to be in ICU unit and all that, and lots of people prayed for us all over the world, and I could really sense it. So yes, that's the community. Yes, the kind of collective thought, collective prayer really works.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you shared that, because it reminds me that I've noticed that in my life, my prayer life improves when my life gets worse. And of course, we don't want our life to get worse, but hopefully we can balance in the right spot. They say you want the right amount of stress in life. The right amount of stress helps you to be strong and to live and not die. Too much stress will kill you. Not enough stress, and you just get comfortable and fat and fall asleep and die. So you want the right amount of stress in your life.
It's easy to forget God when everything's going well, right?
Yeah.
Remembering when everything's going bad, right? That's just, I guess, the kind of the way of the world. That's how how it goes, doesn't it? We ask for help when we need it, but that's just one of those things.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Martyn, close us out. What would you like to say, leave us with?
Yeah, just thank you to the incredible messages that come through and all of the donations that we've had so far. It really has, kind of really touched my heart. And yeah, it's just reading all the messages and realizing that community that we've got behind there. So for me, the biggest thing, yes, the donations are great. It's just for me to see my channel grow by the subscriber account, just to even get to that magic 10,000 subscribers. It just shows to me I'm doing the right thing. People are interested, and it gives me that inspiration to just kind of carry on and try and spread this good word of what we're trying to do for foreigners living in Russia. So for me, it'd be just for the amount of, for the videos I'm putting out, just to see hopefully the channel grow in the right direction. That would be worth anything, more than anything.
YouTube's a funny world. We could be sitting here having this chat in a month's time, and you could be on 500,000 subscribers. That's just, these things have a world of their own, don't they? Me and Joseph have been in this for a while, and it's ups and downs, and you'll see one channel that's brand new, and a month later it has 100,000 subscribers, and it's mad. I'm sure your channel's interesting. You've got something very interesting to offer, even before this whole situation has happened. The fact that you're an English guy with a Russian wife with kids, you've got your family, and the fact that you've built a house in Russia, you've done something that a lot of people are interested in learning about doing. So yeah, you've got a lot to tell, and a lot. It's really interesting for me to see Russia through your eyes, because I've been here so long that a lot of things that I see, I just take as normal.
Yeah.
When I see you talking about them, I'm like, oh wow, yeah, I remember when that happened, but like I didn't have a camera with me. But you've got the camera, so you get to film those things and experience them for the first time and stuff, and that's really cool. So yeah. I'll tell you what I liked. I really liked the video when you went with your son to the shop he bought bread, and the lady in the shop was obviously really, obviously knows you, and she was asking, she was asking him, oh look, you've grown a lot so much already. I can remember, she asked him about how he's grown so much, and it's really nice just to see that you've been accepted into the community.
Exactly.
Even the language barrier is there, but it doesn't matter. She was really happy and so pleased to see your son, and it was really nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to show.
All right. Well, thanks, Sam, for sharing. Thanks, Martyn. Thanks, Yuliya.
Okay. Thanks for inviting me on.
And I appreciate all your prayers you guys are going to send us. And thanks for watching.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.